Friends, welcome to Classes of Preet. If you have not subscribed my channel, then please subscribe it. Today we will do revision 1 of computer. Okay, so let's start. Now here I have written some questions. We will discuss that questions. Okay, it was asked repeatedly in the board examinations question paper. Okay, so let's start. First is, why is a class called a factory of objects? A class is called a factory of objects because it describes the features and functions of the objects that can be created from it. Okay, it describes the features and functions of the objects that can be created from it. It can be used to create any number of objects, so that wise it is called a factory of objects. Okay, then second question is, write one word, a method that converts a string to a primitive integer data type. Okay, so a is a string, so your answer is a in the bracket integer dot parse int, in the bracket you will write string. Okay, so this is your answer. A method that converts method is a, in the bracket you will write integer dot parse int, in the bracket string, then both the bracket closed. Then third is, what is the use of the keyword this? Now what is the use of the keyword this? So the keyword this is useful when you need to refer to instance of the class from its method. The keyword helps us to avoid name conflicts. Okay, so fourth question is, name two jump statements and their use. So its answer is, Java has two keywords. Okay, break and continue in its branching category. Break allows user to give end to a loop, whereas with continue statement, flow of control inside a loop can be continued even when the specified loop condition is false. Okay, so continued statement returns the program control from the point where it is passed. In Java, break statement is used in two ways. Okay, as labeled and unlabeled. Break is commonly used as unlabeled. Okay, labeled break statement is used for terminating nested loops. And in Java, the break statement has two uses. First, as you have seen, it terminates a statement sequence in a switch statement. And second is that it can be used to exit a loop. Then continue statement are very useful in some situations, whereas we want to check some condition, and if the condition is true, then only the block of code should be executed. Otherwise, it should skip the code and force to continue with the loop without processing the remainder of the code. Okay. Then second keyword is Java return keyword. Return statement simply returns from a method. That means that the excursion control is returned back to the caller of the method. It is ideally the last statement that is executed in a method. Okay. Then our fifth question is, define the term bytecode. So answer is, Java programs are both compiled and interpreted. Okay, the Java compiler translates the source code to an intermediate level language called bytecode. Okay, it is independent of the machine on which the program is run. Okay, thus some bytecode file can be used by any system. Then sixth question is, what do you understand by the term data abstraction? So data abstraction is extraction of essential information from a particular purpose and ignoring the remainder of the information. Example, a car is consisted of an engine, air filters, a carburetor, a gearbox, a steering, fuel tank, tires, etc. Many examples are there. So it is a process of exposing only the interfaces and hiding the implementation details from the user. Okay, the interface exposed will remain the same even if the internal implementation changes. Okay, this helps the user to use the new functionality without rewriting the client that was designed for previous implementation. Okay, then seventh is, what is the use of the keyword import? So the keyword import is used to import the package in the class. Okay, and the import keyword is used to import the package in the class. Then eighth question is, mention any two attributes required for class declaration. So the two attributes required for class declaration are the keyword class and the name of the class. Okay. Then ninth question is, explain any two type of access specifier. So access specifier, one of the techniques in object oriented programming is encapsulation. Okay, it concerns the hiding of data in a class and make this class available only through methods. In this way, the chance of making accidental mistakes in changing values is minimized. Java allows you to control access to classes, methods and fields via so-called access specifiers. Okay, Java offers four access specifiers, that is public, protected, default, private, and mainly three are used, that is public, protected and private. So first is public class. Public class methods and public classes, methods and fields can be accessed from everywhere. The only constraint is that a file with Java source code can only contain one public class whose name must not also match with the file name. Okay. If it exists, this public class represents the application or the applet, in which case the public keyword is necessarily to enable your web browser or applet viewer to show the applet. Okay. Then second is protected. So protected methods and fields can only be accessed within the same class to which the methods and fields belong, within its subclasses and within classes of the same package, but not from anywhere else. You use the protected access level when it is inappropriate, means appropriate for a class subclasses to have access to the method or field, but not for unrelated classes. So 10th is differentiate between an actual parameter and formal parameter. So this we will discuss in our next class. Okay, you write it by your own. So in the next video I will discuss that how to score 15 marks easily in the computer board exams and programming also. So okay, it is very easy to score 15 marks. I will tell you how to score easily 15 marks in your board examination in the computer paper. Okay. So if you like this video, then please like and please subscribe to Classes of Preet. So thank you guys for watching this video.